Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I want to talk about a couple of books that I've read recently. Two of these have been quite high ratings and one of them not so high. So let's start with the one that didn't get such a good rating, and that was Sal by Mick Kitson. I really liked the idea of this book. The blurb tells you that it's about a young girl. She's out in the wilderness with her sister. She's taken her sister out there. They are in hiding of some sort. They're escaping some sort of trauma at home. She's protecting her younger sister, and that's all you really know when you go into this. It's quite a short book. It's just over 200 pages long, and as it started out I was really enjoying it. We are flitting in between sort of past and present. We know very early on the situation that our main character is escaping from, and I won't spoil it because it's such a short book, but she is out in the sort of highlands in the wilderness in Scotland, where no one can find her and her sister Pepper. She is looking after Pepper. Pepper is 10. They're setting up camp, and she's using all these skills that she's learnt from videos like Bear Grylls, and she's very prepared. She's been planning this trip for a long time, and they're obviously hiding from the world. And I loved the idea of that, and I loved this idea of sort of finding out the backstory. What I really struggled with this, and what is ultimately the reason why it ended up only getting 2 stars, is that the majority of this book is taken up with really long descriptions, these really long info dumpy sections of what she's learnt on how to trap an animal, or how to set up a camp, or how to survive in certain things, or how to treat a wound. And we go into so much details of these things she says she's learnt from YouTube videos and Bear Grylls videos and various other things that she's sort of researched, that I just felt like it detracted from the story, and it just felt like someone was just showing off about how much they'd read about certain things. And I just felt like it could have been condensed a little bit more and still been just as effective. I wanted to know more about Sal and Pepper, and I wanted to get a bit more connection with them. And with Sal, I really didn't get that desperation which I feel like was needed given the circumstances of the book. I didn't feel that with her, and I feel like that let it down. I felt like Sal was so knowledgeable about all these things. We'd had all this information put in there, and yet she still considered she considered something that was just wildly not true about what would happen if they went back. And I feel like if you'd researched all of this other stuff, surely you would research the repercussions of your actions before you go to, you know, if you're really planning it out. So I felt like that was a bit jarring for me. So unfortunately this one was a bit of a miss, so only 2 stars. You win some, you lose some. It obviously didn't like that. The next book I picked up was a YA contemporary, First and Then by Emma Mills. I really enjoy Emma Mills. She wrote a book called This Adventure Ends, which I really liked. And this one just sounded, you know, like an interesting read. Again, I read this one in an evening. It's about a character called Devon. She is at school, she's a senior at school, and she just feels a little bit lost. She's never really got involved in school activities. She just sort of goes to school, does her thing and go home. She's not, you know, massively into sports. She's not into art or science. You know, she doesn't fulfill and do these extracurricular activities which you need to sort of bulk out your college applications. And so she's seeing one of the college, like the school, not counsellors, but one of the ladies that's sort of guiding her to help her get into the school she wants. She kind of knows what college she wants to go to, but she doesn't really know what she wants to do. And she's initially sort of looking at writing her college application. She just really doesn't know what she's going to put on it. And the guidance counsellor is saying, you need to sort of get this a bit better. Anyway, we're sort of following that part of her year. We're also following alongside her the story of Foster, who is moved into her house. He's her cousin, and he's come to live with them for reasons which you find out in the book. And so it's that relationship. She spent 17 years being an only child. Now Foster is there. He's a boy. She's not sure how she feels about that. He's 14, so he's a good few years younger than her. But she sort of takes on this role of big sister and starts to look out for him at school. And Foster ends up becoming quite into football and football. And we sort of follow that. and Devon's best friend is a boy called Cass, who is on the American football team, and she is mostly with male and female relationships at that age. She is a little bit in love with him, and we're just following this final year and following their lives and what's going on, and it was really enjoyable to read. There's, you know, that romantic element that there generally is in these things, but yeah, I thought it was a good read. It felt quite realistic. I enjoyed the different sort of relationships and dynamics we were following, so yeah, I recommend this, a good 4-star. The final book that I've read recently, which was very nearly a 5-star read, I have to say, and a bit of a surprise, was The Childfinder by Renée Denfield. Now, I didn't really love The Enchanted. I think I thought it was okay. I can't remember if it was a 3-star or sort of just a 4-star. I thought it was a good read, but definitely not one that I would be raving about. And this one just sort of piqued my interest when I read the idea about it, about this woman that is called upon by parents that are desperate when the police and other people can't help find their missing children. And she sort of made it her quest in life to find out what happens to these children, even if she can give the parents the news that those children are no longer with us. She believes that that's better than not knowing. And this all stems from her own childhood, where something traumatic happened to her. She cannot remember past the point where she was found, and nobody really knows what happened. And so she was in foster care. And so we're following her personal life, where she was in foster care with a wonderful woman who really cared for her, and another boy called Jerome, who she sort of grew up with in the same family, but obviously not related, and their sort of relationship and how that has strengthened over the years, and her relationship with her foster mother. We're also looking at what drives Naomi, our main character, to find these children, and the sort of demons that follow her around, and the things that she's trying to come to terms with, and the mysteries involving her past. And then we're also mainly following this one case, although there is sort of a little sideline case that I wasn't sure was totally relevant, but we're following this one case of this girl that has gone missing 3 years previous. The parents went out with the daughter into the woods to cut down a Christmas tree. It was very snowy, and the girls run off to play and literally just disappeared, and she's just gone. And they're very treacherous sort of areas and landscapes, and it's about you know, what's happened to her. The parents, the mother especially, does not believe that she's dead. She wants someone to just look into it more, and so that's what Naomi's doing through this. She's looking into it, and we follow her along that lines. We're also getting the point of view of the girl that has gone missing, so we are flitting between her and Naomi, and I really enjoyed that aspect, and that lends sort of a fairy tale element to this story. The young girl that's gone missing was obsessed with Russian fairy tales, especially this one about a snow girl, a girl made of snow, and that is something that she has latched onto in when she's speaking, which I thought was really good and really clever, and I really enjoyed that. And it's explained later on, you know, the reasons why children do things like that when, you know, or adults, I suppose, who are in those situations. Very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It was gripping all the way through. I was rooting for our main character. There was enough sort of tension in there and character development. It was just a thoroughly enjoyable book, so I definitely recommend this one. It was a strong 4 stars. Anyway, that's what I've read recently, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.